It's a great honor to welcome to the program one of the world's greatest and most beloved actors, Mr. Dennis Farina. Dennis, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for that beautiful introduction.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I know you're a busy guy, so I guess let's get started here, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, I said, okay.
Now, you were born and raised in Chicago, correct?
I'm born and raised, and I still live there.
And so you live in mostly in or grew up in mostly an Italian neighborhood, correct?
Yeah, it was mostly all Italian neighbor. Yeah, that's true.
And now you have said before that you used to go to the movies a lot when you were a kid. Why did movies appeal to you so much?
Well, it was pretty cheap entertainment for us. When I was going, it was about 10 cents to get in. If you had a quarter, you can see two movies, cartoons, a cereal, and eat popcorn and get a Coke and things like that. And it was convenient for us too, because there were about 4 or 5 movie houses right in our neighborhood. So I spent a lot of time at the movies. I loved them.
Did you have any favorites?
Yeah, well, one of my favorites is because I remember seeing it. The first movie I saw was Red River. That was 1948. And I saw it with my father, so it always stands out in my mind. It was a great movie, too, by the way. I'm
sure. And did you ever dream of becoming a feature film star when you were watching those movies?
No, I never did. I enjoyed the entertainment. It was before television was really popular, and we listened to the radio, and that was our entertainment. Going to the movies was our entertainment. But I never thought about, I never dreamed that I would wind up in the entertainment business, making movies.
Now, some may not know this, but before you started your acting career, you had a successful career as a Chicago police officer, and so how many years were you on the force for?
20 years.
And so what type of cases did you work?
Oh, we worked on all kinds of things. We worked a lot on sophisticated burglars and jewel thieves and stick-up men, stuff like that.
And you were a detective, correct?
Yes, I was.
And so now many of the characters that you have played have been in some way connected to the law, either defending it or breaking it. Did your time with the Chicago PD impact your acting career in any way?
I never tried to let it influence me. That's a trap you can fall into, because you have to remember, in the movie business, it's you're not dealing with reality, and the other business can be a very, very serious. So there were some things that I would always question only because of my experiences, but I never tried to let it take over.
So how did you get your start in the entertainment industry?
I met a director, Michael Mann, who was in town doing a movie. He was doing a movie called Thief with James Caan in 1980. Okay. And I met him through a mutual friend. We helped him with the movie a little bit, and one day he asked me to do a part in the movie.
And so that was Thief, correct?
Yes, that was Thief, yeah.
And didn't Willie Nelson also appear in that movie, too?
Willie Nelson was in that movie, Tuesday Weld, James Caan, James Belushi.
And so it was really after Thief that you started performing in the local Chicago theater, correct?
That's right, yeah. While I was doing that, I had the opportunity to meet people who were doing stage in Chicago, John Malkovich and John Mahoney, and people from the Steppenwolf and a couple other stage companies, Gary Sinise, and they were very nice to me. And they asked me if I would be interested in doing a play, and I said, "Well, yeah, I'll give it a try." So I did.
And so it wasn't long after you started acting that you tried your luck in Hollywood, wasn't it?
Well, no, it was about 5 or 6 years later that I had enough time on, and Michael Mann offered me the role of Mike Torello in Crime Story, and that's when I left the job.
And so, how did you come to star in Crime Story?
Well, Michael Mann created the show with another fellow named Charlie Adamson and another guy, Anthony Yurkovich. And they asked me if I would be interested in doing the lead. Actually, as I'm thinking about it, I was supposed to play another character, and I said okay. But then, for some reason, they changed that, and they asked me to do the lead.
And Crime Story was really a sophisticated look at the war on crime, and it really showed the ongoing fight between a mobster, Ray Luca, and your character, Chicago PD Lieutenant Mike Torello. And so I was wondering if you could please tell us a little bit about your character, Torello, for those who didn't watch the show.
Well, Mike Torello was a veteran police lieutenant in Chicago who worked on organized crime. That was his specialty. He was married, but his marriage was in jeopardy because of his commitment to his job. And he was a no-holds-barred kind of guy, kind of rock-em, sock-em, pre-Miranda, pre-Escobedo police detective. Took his job very seriously.
And what was also neat... Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say what was also neat about Crime Story was it took place in the early 1960s, too, so you had all the classic cars and the classic outfits and...
Absolutely, that's right. We had beautiful cars, beautiful music. The music was great. We had the costumes, it was all 1960s, which was kind of a sexy era because of Kennedy and the space program. There were a lot of things that were going on.
Sure. And then it was also kind of neat. The show moved to Las Vegas for a portion of it, from Chicago.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it excuse me. Yeah, it did. I wanted it to stay in Chicago longer, but I was outvoted, and we moved it to Vegas. The show lasted about 2.5 years. I think if we would have stayed in Chicago a little longer, it would have lasted longer.
And was that the network who decided to not approve it for another season, or to continue it?
Yes. Yeah.
And so what did you as an actor take away from Crime Story?
Well, everything was easy after that. We worked really long hours. There were a lot of script meetings. I had a lot of input into the character. We had some wonderful directors and writers. We had some big stars come through. Julia Roberts came through that show.
Sure.
Kevin Spacey, a few other people. Stanley Tucci, people like that. That came through. It was a real good learning curve for me. And after that, everything was kind of easy.